Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates. I am covering the Moscow, Idaho Bryan Kohberger case. Let's talk about Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson, the prosecutor who was handling the Bryan Kohberger case. I call Bill Thompson the king of plea deals. Bill Thompson was first elected in Latah County in 1992. Ran every 4 years after that. Unopposed, only one time in 2008 where there was an opponent against him and he won big. Unopposed every other year. 1996 unopposed, 2000 unopposed, 2004 unopposed, 2012 unopposed, 2016 unopposed, 2020 unopposed. He's up for re-election next year in 2024. Will he retire? I did a video on that. Bill Thompson, been a prosecutor for 31 years in Latah County. But I've been digging in deeply on his handling of cases in the county, and I found an interesting trend. One, he doesn't like to go to trial very often on first-degree murder charges. Do you know, in 31 years, there's only been three people that went to trial in that county for first-degree murder. Dale Shackelford case, David Meister case, Charles Capone case. And two of those cases got reversed back down to the district court for numerous reasons. So two of the three cases got messed up where they had to actually go back. These are first-degree murder trials that Bill Thompson handled. Let's talk about this individual here, David Petit, because Bill Thompson gave a sweetheart deal to a child killer. You heard it, a child killer. A guy by the name of David Petit who killed his own 3.5-month-old daughter. Bill Thompson gave him a sweetheart deal. Let me show you a little bit about the David Petit case. This is a news article from years back. Father charged with murder in infant's death, fatal injuries caused by violent shaking. Autopsy shows. Latah County prosecutors charged a Moscow, Idaho man Tuesday with murdering his infant daughter, accusing him of causing the fatal injuries by violently shaking the 3.5-month-old girl. David Petit, a 24-year-old University of Idaho student, was being held in the Latah County Jail without bail on a first-degree murder charge. An autopsy performed Monday in Spokane showed Rebecca Petit died of bleeding in the brain, said Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson. David Petit has admitted shaking Rebecca on 3 other occasions, according to charging documents. He downplayed how hard he shook the child on 2 of the incidents, but admitted shaking the child hard 3 to 4 weeks ago to get it to start breathing. Detective Sergeant Bruce Fager wrote in an affidavit of probable cause. During one of the incidents, he said he did CPR on the child after he found her not breathing. Weaver said Rebecca never was treated by doctors for broken ribs. Rebecca's leg was broken when she was just 2 weeks old, Spokane police said. Idaho Child Protective Services removed the girl from her parents' home for a month before returning her. Bill Walker, an Idaho Department of Health and Welfare spokesman, refused to comment about the case. State privacy laws prohibit him from commenting about any involvement the agency may have with the family. David Petit told police that he had been holding Rebecca on the arm of a chair about noon Thursday when she fell and suffered the fatal head injuries. He said that he had reached down with his right hand and yanked her up hard by the clothing, Fager wrote. He said that she was not responsive, so he shook her hard for 2 to 3 seconds. He said he shook her about 7 to 8 times out of panic to get her to respond. At one point, he said that the shake was violent. Wow. Petit admitted he had shaken Rebecca, but he told detectives his actions were a panic attempt to revive his daughter, who he said had been knocked unconscious after accidentally tumbling from his arms to the floor, Moscow Police Chief Dan Weaver said. Rebecca died Sunday night, 3 days after she was flown to Spokane Hospital with severe
head, and brain damage. This is the 3.5-year-old baby, by the way, everyone, including retinal tearing. Doctors also discovered several ribs that had been broken in the weeks before the infant was fatally injured, according to the court documents. Broken ribs from weeks prior. Doctors told police the girl's injuries were consistent with shaken baby syndrome. Barbara Dawn Pettit, the girl's 25-year-old mother, who told Spokane police that she knew about prior abuse but did not witness it, has not been charged. The baby suffered the fatal injuries while her mother was attending a class at the University of Idaho. Thompson said autopsy results appear to confirm the reports of an ongoing abuse. X-rays found the baby previously had suffered a broken leg and 6 broken ribs, 2 of which were at least 2-week-old injuries. Dr. George Lindholm, the Spokane County forensic pathologist who performed the autopsy, also discovered several broken ribs along Rebecca's spine that did not show up in the X-rays, court records stated.
Looks like his name is David Pettit. David Petit, Pettit, either or. Remember that name, David Pettit, David Petit, prosecuted in Latah County for murdering his own 3.5-month-old child. So he shook his baby to death, Rebecca. Oh, man, that's horrible, right? That's horrible. A 3.5-month-old baby charged with first-degree murder. Prior abuse on this child, right? Broken ribs. First-degree murder charge, was ready to go to trial, but right before trial, Bill Thompson makes a deal with this child killer.
And right before trial was about to start, this news article came out. Pettit expected to change his plea in daughter's death. A jury trial had been scheduled for May, which could have meant life in prison if Pettit was found guilty. Accused baby killer David Craig Pettit sat shackled in chains Thursday afternoon, took a deep breath, sighed, and then paused before saying the word that will probably put him behind bars for at least 15 years. Guilty, Pettit told 2nd District Judge John Stegner. The admission comes nearly 6 months after Pettit's 3.5-month-old daughter, Rebecca, died from what experts call shaken baby syndrome. Pettit also pleaded guilty to possession of a dangerous weapon while being held in the Latah County Jail. A May 5th jury trial had been scheduled on a first-degree murder charge, but Latah County Prosecutor William Thompson told Stegner a plea agreement had been struck whereby Pettit would plead guilty to a reduced charge of second-degree murder and the weapons charge. So the prosecutor, Bill Thompson, dropped his charge down from first degree to second degree murder. So instead of spending life in prison, Pettit gets a 15-year sentence.
Instead of spending the rest of his life in jail, prison, he gets a deal by Bill Thompson. Second degree murder charges instead of first, and he only gets 15 years in prison. 15 years for killing his child because Bill Thompson didn't go to trial with this guy. Decided to make a deal and let a child killer out. Because he's out now. This was years ago, but he's out. He actually gave a child killer a sweetheart deal. And he's been giving a lot of people deals. Wen Kai Lee was a case where went and stabbed numerous people inside a home, killed 2 people. The families were outraged at Bill Thompson. The John Lee case went on a rampage, and Bill Thompson didn't even seek the DP against this guy. A lot of cases, he didn't even go to trial. A lot of cases, Bill Thompson avoids trials. Now, what will happen with the Bryan Kohberger case? Bryan Kohberger's scheduled to go to trial October 2nd. First, Bill Thompson hasn't decided yet whether he's going to seek the DP against Bryan Kohberger or not. 2 of the victims' families are seeking the DP against Bryan Kohberger. You know what the DP means. But even if Bill Thompson does seek the DP, then what? Goes through. Will Bill Thompson work a deal out with Bryan Kohberger's defense. And that is fearing some people out there. I read the Reddit threads. I look around. But I wanted to share information about Bill Thompson because his track record shows that he's given people sweetheart deals. There was another case where two guys from Seattle went and killed a University of Idaho student football player, and Bill Thompson, and these guys were charged with first-degree murder. Bill Thompson, lowered their charges, and they got 20-year sentences. So he's done this with other cases. Don't go to trial very often. I would love to see how he performed in trial of these cases, the Capone case, the Meister case, the Dale Shackelford cases. 3 cases. That's the only 3 cases I could find in Latah County that he actually went to trial for first-degree murder. In 2 of those cases, there was problems in the court where the appeals court reversed the cases. He didn't seek the DP in any of them. Dale Shackelford, when there was a technicality in his case and got sent back, Bill Thompson had the opportunity to seek the DP against him, and he didn't. He chose life in prison. What's going on, people, in Latah County? I don't know if I necessarily trust this prosecutor with this track record. Do you? Do you have experiences that you know about Bill Thompson? I would love to hear in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts about this. He let a child killer out. Will he let Bryan Kohberger out? Will he give Bryan Kohberger a sweet deal? Reduced charges. Alford plea. What's going on here, people? We'll talk soon. Stay tuned. Justice for the victims and their families.